Throughout history, few figures have embodied both brilliance and audacity like Napoleon Bonaparte. His rise to power was marked by moments so bold they could only be described as truly epic. At that time, Europe was deeply influenced by the Catholic Church, a towering symbol of authority. For centuries, monarchs across the continent had been crowned by the Pope himself, an act meant to signify divine approval for their rule. However, when it came time for Napoleon's coronation in 1804, he wasn't about to let tradition dictate his destiny. As the ceremony unfolded in Notre Dame Cathedral, all eyes were on the Pope, who prepared to place the crown upon Napoleon's head. But then, something extraordinary happened. Napoleon seized a crown from the Pope's hands and placed it on his own head. In that single act, he declared that no higher power, not even the church, would define his legitimacy. He was making a statement. He was the master of his fate. Napoleon's defiance didn't stop there. During one heated parliamentary debate, several politicians launched scathing attacks against him, criticizing his policies and decisions. At the time, Napoleon was preoccupied with leading France through war after war. Frustrated but composed, he silenced them with words that would echo through history. Is this really the moment for petty squabbles? All authority stems from a throne. But what is the throne? A mere wooden frame draped in velvet? No, I am the throne. It was a declaration not just of leadership, but of sheer willpower. Perhaps one of the most iconic moments of Napoleon's life occurred during his return to France in 1815. After being exiled to Elba, he made a daring comeback, an event known as the 100 Days. King Louis XVIII, desperate to stop him, sent a battalion of 1,000 soldiers to intercept Napoleon near Grenoble. When the two sides confronted each other, Napoleon did something unthinkable. Alone and unarmed, he walked directly toward the troops, tore open his coat, and shouted, "Soldiers, if any of you wish to kill your general, your emperor, here I am." The air grew heavy with tension, but not a single soldier moved. Instead, they cheered, abandoning their allegiance to the king and rallying behind Napoleon once more. This moment perfectly encapsulated his charisma and unshakable confidence. To those soldiers, he wasn't just a man, he was a force of nature. They saw in him not only a leader, but also a legend. Of course, Napoleon's story wasn't without its challenges. His ambition ultimately led to his downfall at Waterloo, where he faced defeat at the hands of the Seventh Coalition. Yet even in failure, his legacy endured. He redefined how leaders wielded power, reshaped Europe's borders, and left an indelible mark on military strategy and governance. So, why do we remember Napoleon today? Because he wasn't just a conqueror or a politician. He was a symbol of relentless determination. Whether snatching a crown from the Pope, silencing critics with razor-sharp wit, or winning over an entire army with nothing but courage, Napoleon proved that true authority comes not from titles or traditions, but from the strength of one's character. And that, perhaps, is the greatest lesson of all.